welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch our video podcast. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's a sibling happy hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be talking about content creators and their responsibility to their friends and family. We're going to be talking about Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark, and the women's tournament. And then we're going to be talking about a funny bill that's been introduced in Congress that you guys won't believe. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
What's going on? What's good? You sound exasperated.
That's just a hell of a day, where you just like, nothing's working. I was like, is Mercury in Gatorade? Because what's happening?
Did Gucci make lemonade again? What's going on?
Exactly. That's is there a Hot Pocket in the microwave? I need to know. Because
I'm like Marvin Gaye. I want to know what's going on.
I can't get out the blocks. It's like I got gum on my shoe.
What's going on? What's going on? Tell the people out there what's going on.
I mean, work was what it was. Not
work
good.
is what it is.
Both the dogs are sick.
Throwing up all over the place.
And I'm just like, you know what? Let's go film a show. That's exactly not what I wanted to say. I want to take a nap, forget all about today. But instead, I'm here with you all. And you know what? Damn it, it's about the only thing I'm happy about right now.
Okay. Well, there's something else that you should be happy about.
What's that?
This time next week, me and you going to be kicking it face to face.
You're going to be kicking it. You're going to be here.
That's right.
Room's all ready.
All right. I'm ready for it.
Yes,
the only thing it don't have is an industrial fan. So don't be surprised if you might see an Amazon payment for an industrial fan, since I'm going to be there for like a week. I actually haven't got my...
put it in your suitcase?
I'm not going to do that. Okay. And no, my Jordan's going in the suitcase. And actually, I probably need to buy my coming home ticket because I just bought the ticket there. So,
yeah, that's all your brother did.
Is he going to be there too?
I don't know. And there actually may be overlap with all three of you.
Okay. We mean all three of who else?
Our father.
What? No. Dad said that he was not going because...
I don't know. Hey,
okay.
I'm just making sure the rooms are made up. I don't know.
You know me. All I need is a room. Tell me give me a towel and a washcloth, and point me to the closest Costco so I can go get my tequila. And I'm cool. I'm easy. I don't need too much.
So you're asking for a place to stay, amenities, and also a ride? That's a lot.
No, not a ride. I could I can literally catch the Uber from the airport, go to Costco, which is what I was planning on doing. Go to Costco so that I just look. This is a mini vacation for me. Will I be working? Yes, I still will be working. But some of my clients that do virtual have said to me, hey, we don't mind if you drink because it's late at night. It doesn't matter. It's not like you here. And I was like, you sure? Because I would never do something like that. I'm professional, always professional.
Yeah.
And then I said, a few. It was one client in particular. And they were like, yeah, go ahead. And I was like, say less. Okay. Because let me tell you, I'm already seeing you at 8:00 at night. So
don't do that.
I'll be just fine.
So
I'm drinking right now doing this show. I'm drinking right now doing this show.
This is a happy hour.
Yeah, this is true. This is the happy hour.
You set it up so that you could drink while we do the show.
Yes.
That's what you get to do when it's your show. But in our regular lives, let's not do that.
I mean, in my regular life, we mean like drinking and working? Nah,
Yeah.
nah, I wouldn't. No, because
Yeah.
I take what I do very, very seriously.
I know
So
you do.
I wouldn't do that. But if you saying it's not a big deal and actually encouraging me to do it, then I'm
Mhm.
just gonna go ahead and do that. Yeah. Especially considering the fact that I'm treating this trip as a vacation because I haven't been on a vacation in several years, and I'll be there for
Yeah.
a whole week. We got some things that we're gonna end up doing. It's gonna be cool.
Yes. 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 We're gonna have a good time. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
it's gonna be fun. There's some stuff that we're gonna get into, but
Okay.
on the show that I did on Tuesday, which I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it or not, I was talking about the responsibility of content creators,
Yes.
and I was talking specifically of what you put out there, what you say, and the type of people that you have on your show.
Mhm.
And I will say, just to give everybody a heads up, that's probably going to be the last personal show that I'm going to do this month because I got too many interviews that need to be released. So for the
Yeah.
next 3 Tuesdays, it's going to be interviews. And let me tell you, they are story. If y'all like gossip, if y'all like me and you messy and you like gossip,
We like to get the tea and we like it piping hot.
yeah, the next two interviews, tea, whole lot
Okay.
of tea, whole
Tea
lot of
will be
tea.
spilt.
One
Okay.
one is a two-parter because I
Okay.
interviewed this person and we spoke for an hour and a half plus, and I said, "Hey, I'm gonna have to break this up into two episodes because
Yeah.
one of the things I talked about in the Tuesday episode, we got ad sponsors now on our show, so
Mhm.
that takes up,
Correct.
that
Correct.
extends the length of the show. By the way, if you're listening to the show where these ads
Mm.
are playing, listen to the ads, please. That's how we get paid, right? That's how we keep putting out this free
Yeah.
content for you. But we get some money to keep putting out this free content for you. This helps
Right.
us keep growing, right? And
Right.
we put the money back into the product, get
Yes.
better cameras, get better mics, get better production. So
Yeah.
listen to the ads. You
Listen to
know,
the ads.
if you need LASIK surgery, there's an ad for you. If you want to send your kids to Catholic school, there's an ad for you. If you
Yeah.
want to go to McDonald's, there's an
There's an
ad
ad
for
for
you.
you.
You know what I'm saying? If you want to get Cox Cable, if you living in the hold on, y'all, before y'all joke on me. Cox Cable is a cable company that just happens to be called
Yes.
Cox, COX in the
Yes.
DMV area.
Yes.
If you want to do the Cox Cable, there's an ad for you.
Mhm. I moved the
There
post-it.
Yeah, there are ads for you to go ahead and listen to them, please, because
This
that's
is
how we
starting to
get paid.
feel like an ad.
It- uh,
It's
It's
not.
it's it's not an ad. It's
This
not
is
ad.
just us talking.
Let's get to it. Let's get to go back to the content creation. So I sent you
Yeah.
a video earlier today, and we're not going to put
Yes.
names to these people that we're talking about because I don't want to embarrass the young man any further.
Mm.
So it's a sister. It's an older sister that does content creation on Instagram and OnlyFans. We are not slut shaming or anything like that. We don't
No.
do that stuff. Okay. You go get your money.
Right.
She also has a podcast. This person has a podcast as well. And they do videos for Instagram and things of that nature. And on the podcast or the videos that she does, every now and then she has her brother on there. And her
Yeah.
brother was talking to her about, and it's her younger brother talking to
Mhm.
her about the work that she does creates frustration in his life. And he was talking about being bullied. He said not physically bullied, but words. And
Yeah.
words can hurt sometimes more than physical violence.
A lot
And
of times, yes.
a lot of times. And at first she was like, I don't know what you want me to do about it. I'm just out here doing my thing. I don't know how this concerns you. And then he gets emotional and he was like, you don't understand what you do reflects back on me. And it's going to cost me certain things in life that I want to do because of your reflection. Was he being a bit much? Was he
Well,
exaggerating
he's
a
still
bit much?
young. He
He's still
looked
young.
like
He doesn't,
he was in his early teens.
right.
Yeah.
He didn't see that. He doesn't see the big picture of life yet. I understand what he's trying to say. And what he's saying,
Mhm.
what he's basically saying is, what you do is a reflection of us. as a family and as a whole. And as I was watching this, it really hit a chord because we don't have nearly the number. She's got like 1.4 million followers on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
She's a millionaire through OnlyFans. And God, I wish I could start an OnlyFans and become a millionaire. But so she's her platform is way bigger than ours.
Yeah, for
I'm not
sure.
comparing it like that, but our platform is absolutely growing,
Yes.
and we have a responsibility to our family members, to our friends, because in an extension, we are representing them. And some of
Yeah,
this
for
blowback,
sure.
some of the things that we say can blow back on them. So I just thought that was an interesting concept. And I went down the rabbit hole on the page and started watching more and more in their videos. And you could tell that these two siblings have a strong bond. They really, really love each other.
Yeah.
And that clip that I originally sent to you, where he was
Mhm.
explaining to her his trouble with what she does, she responded and she was like, "Hey, do you really?" In a later clip, do you really feel that way from that viral clip that went out? And he was like, "Yeah, you don't understand. Like everything that I'm trying to do, I'm attached to you as well."
Yeah.
And she was like, "I just never thought of it like that. It's just me doing my thing. I never thought of it." And she's 21, right? She's a
Yeah.
kid as well.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I just thought that was really interesting. And I wanted to talk about the responsibility that content creators, but more specifically like you and I, because we talk
Yeah.
about really, really important stuff.
Yeah.
What
From
people
time to
would deem
time.
as
Yeah.
from time to time, people would deem it as controversial, but we won't. We'll be talking about some
Hmm.
race stuff and
Hmm.
sexism a little bit later on. And a lot of people out there in the world don't really want to hear what we have to say.
Yeah.
And it can come back as, the things that we say. I'm always careful with what I say. I know you are always careful with what you say, but it's just that that growing responsibility of the content that we're putting out is growing on me more and more as our platform grows larger and larger. So it was just something that I thought was interesting that we should talk about on the air.
Yeah. I think we're in particular pretty fortunate because our family and friends support what we're doing.
Hmm.
I think that, you know, if we were more high profile, I mean, who knows? Like, I don't know
Hey,
if that if the fact that she has such a reach and it reaches all the way to her brother's personal life,
hmm,
right? Like where other people are coming up to him, you know, students, his peers, and things. Maybe they subscribe to her OnlyFans. You know, that could be
yeah,
tough.
yeah, that could be real tough.
I think you and I are at a level right now where nothing we're doing is reaching into the personal lives of the people around us like that.
We hope, but
We
think about
hope,
it.
yeah, but
Jam-
there could come a time where that is absolutely true, and then, you know, that's just a new dynamic that we're gonna have to navigate, or a bridge we're gonna have to cross when we get to it.
yeah, I mean, we talk about the former president a lot.
Mhm.
Think about if one of these clips ever where we're talking about it goes viral and catches his attention. We've seen his influence infect regular voting workers and their
Mhm.
lives, right?
Mhm.
From the things that he could say because he didn't like how people handle a certain thing. So if we
Right.
say something g- it fell into his ears and then he
Yeah.
started putting our name out there, then that affects those closest to us.
Yeah. But again, it's like we don't we're by
We not
proxy, we're getting that reach,
yeah.
you know? So, I just feel like where we're at right now, this is still something that's a we cross that bridge when we get to
Well, but I
it.
think that's a problem a lot of times in people's lives, right? That they don't
Mhm.
look down the road at potential problems that could
Yeah.
arise from their actions. And they say, well, it won't affect me now. I deal with it when I deal with it. And then when it comes, you ain't prepared to deal with what it is. And so, you
Yeah.
know me, I'm always this is just who I am. I
Yeah.
look down the road and I'm like, all right, what back alleys is this road that I'm going on that could potentially lead me to? What bad
My
situations does
therapist called that future tripping.
it? So I'm future tripping. I be future
Mhm.
tripping a lot. So break it
Yes.
down for the audience. What is future tripping?
It's where you build up all this anxiety and worry over future events that you are constructed in your own mind. These things have not happened, but the
Happened yet,
anxiety but you don't know that they're ever going to happen, but
but you
you've
don't know
built
that
up
they
so much
won't.
real stress
I'm
and
not stressed about it.
anxiety. You look
I'm not stressed
stressed.
about it. No, I look stressed because I'm tired. That's the reason why I'm going to treat this trip to Atlanta next week as a vacation.
Well, I'll say this, you know, it's not like we don't catch hell for some of the stuff that we say.
Oh yeah, we do.
But one thing about me is I never say anything I don't mean, and and I don't say anything that I don't believe.
Right.
So if anything ever to go, Did you say this?" Yes, I did say that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not one of those people that will just say something as if it's my own opinion or value or belief, but really I got it from something else, and maybe I don't
Mhm.
even really believe what I say. I.e., I'm not like the correspondents on Fox News, right?
Oh,
Where
see, I knew. I
some of
see.
them, some of them might believe what they say. I believe Tucker does, but
He's not on Fox News no more. He's not on
and that's
Fox.
why. Because they're supposed to know that it's make believe, and he doesn't. But like saying things that maybe in your personal life you don't actually believe for
Mhm.
whatever. I'm not going to do that. And so I don't have a problem standing on business on anything that I say because if I said it, I meant it. And it is what it is.
That's not what I'm talking about. Obviously, and the Tuesday show was me making a promise to the audience, and I'm always going to keep it real and authentic
Mhm.
because I am. I'm not going to sell out for likes and follow subscribers and money. Like I can't be bought. But
Right.
so I'm always standing on business too. But you can stand on business and cause friction to those close to you. You can.
Yeah. But I think, again, this is why I say that we're lucky. I think that we have people in our lives that if I go, I'm like, this is what I really truly believe is right. And I said what I said. And they be like, well, let's stand on it. And they'll
No, I'm not.
ride with us. You know what I'm
I'm not
saying?
talking
Like
about
we're
support.
lucky.
But I'm not talking about support. We have that. We have
Yeah.
all that. I'm talking about the things that we say or do. And like in the instance of this kid, he's got friends,
Yeah.
clowning him because his sister is in OnlyFans. And I think, once again, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not comparing us to these people. I'm just talking about a larger question here of what is your responsibility of a content creator.
Yeah.
The documentary and the TV series, which are two totally different things, with Pamela Anderson and the life of her children, right? The
Mhm.
life of the children of porn stars. And once again, I'm not shaming these women in any way. Do you boo boo, right?
Mhm.
To take it out of the women context, take it to Baron Trump.
Yeah.
Like he didn't ask for his father,
Right.
right? And not to say that he doesn't love his father, because I don't know what that relationship is.
Yeah.
But his father is a extremely polarizing person.
Mhm.
What is that like for that kid who just
Yeah.
want to be a kid, right? And there are people that really hate his father, and there are people out there that don't have the responsibility and the good sense to not take it out on a kid just because they hate his
Yeah.
father,
Very
right?
true.
So that's kind of the conversation that I'm talking about. It's sometimes when people do things
Yeah.
that are for the public, it's not just you that you're
Yeah. I mean,
representing. You're representing those close to you.
you're always kind of bearing that, or I hope people are, but I'm always kind of bearing that in mind. You know, it's a fine line to walk, being your authentic self and living in your truth, but also knowing that you're responsible to the people in your life. Like, how do you walk that line? And there are things where, you and I decide together, this is something we're not going to talk about, or this is a place
Mhm.
we're not going to go. So I think
Ladies and
that we're
gentlemen,
always cognizant of that.
but ladies and gentlemen, that's really only been like one thing that we're staying away from. But other than
No,
that, we
there's been other times where you bring up a show idea, I'm like, no.
well, that's because typically my stuff is goofy. When all right, behind the wall, when we're producing the show, sometimes my sister loves to choose violence, and
Mhm.
sometimes I love to play. And we both love to do those two things, sometimes too much. And to bring balance to the show, it's like, all right, that's too much of that. That's too much of this. Let's
Yeah.
bring a little bit balance to the show. So but as far as subjects, I think there's only been one subject that we haven't talked about and that we're not going to talk about.
I mean, you're making it very obvious what it is, but
Yeah,
okay.
well,
I
no,
tried to
to
keep it
us.
general.
Yeah, no, to us. I don't think people out there know what we're talking about. I don't think so. Because there's some things that we haven't talked about. So there's a variety of things that we could be talking about right now.
All right.
Anyway, we were talking about choosing violence, and we're going to choose that violence next. Hey there, podcast listeners. It's Bruce Anthony here, and welcome to another episode of Unsolicited Perspectives. Today, I want to talk to you about something that's been on my mind lately, the importance of staying hydrated and taking care of ourselves. Whether it's prioritizing our health and wellness, or gearing up for festival seasons, or just gearing up for whatever season or time of year, there's one brand that's been my go-to for all things hydration, Liquid IV. Speaking of health and wellness, let's dive into how Liquid IV can fuel your well-being. Imagine starting your day off right, feeling refreshed and energized. Liquid IV Hydration Multiplier is the missing piece in your daily routine. With just one stick, you get 5 essential vitamins and 2 times faster hydration than water alone. It's perfect for those early mornings, pre-workout boosts, moments when you're just feeling run down, or even after a late night or long flights. I absolutely love how convenient Liquid IV is. The packaging makes it easy to bring with me wherever I go. And let me tell you, it's become a vital daily part of my routine. The flavors, let me tell you something, they're incredible. From refreshing sea berry and strawberry lemonade to classics like lemon lime and watermelon, there's a flavor for every preference. It's like a burst of hydration with a hint of deliciousness. Picture this. 1 stick of Liquid IV mixed in 16 ounces of water, hydrating you 2 times faster and more efficient than water alone. And with 12 mouth-watering and flavors, you'll never get bored with your hydration routine. Plus, Liquid IV is packed with 5 essential vitamins: B3, B5, B6, B12, and of course, vitamin C. It's also made with premium ingredients, non-GMO, free of gluten, dairy, and soy. This is hydration at its finest. But it doesn't stop there. Liquid IV believes that access to clean and abundant water is the foundation of a healthier world. That's why they partner with leading organizations, finding innovative solutions to help communities protect both their water and their futures. It's incredible to know that Liquid IV has already donated over 39 million servings in 50 plus countries around the world. They truly walk the talk. Get 20% off when you go to liquidiv.com and use code UNSOLICITED at checkout. That's 20% off anything you order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code UNSOLICITED at liquidiv.com. Remember, folks, taking care of ourselves should always be a priority. So why wait? Head over to liquidiv.com, pick your favorite flavors, and experience hydration like never before. Stay refreshed, stay hydrated, and keep rocking those unsolicited perspectives. All right, sis.
Mhm.
This was something that you wanted to talk about, and I wanted to talk about it as well. I just
Yeah.
didn't know how I was going to. I knew kind of the larger context. I knew the micro, but not the macro. No, I knew the
Mhm.
macro, but not the micro, right? I
Right,
knew the
right.
larger context, but not the smaller context. And then you brought it to my attention. We can go here with it. And I was like, say less,
Mhm.
but don't say too much, but say less. We're going to talk about the larger context is the media portrayal and the media's fascination with putting races against each other, right?
Mhm.
We saw it last year, and we talked about it a little bit last year with Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese in
Yes.
the national championship game.
Mhm.
It's taken on kind of a larger context now because it was about 2 individual players, and then it got extended out with an article written in the LA Times about UCLA and LSU.
Yeah.
So I want to talk about not only the sexism, the racism, and just the overall representation of women in sports and this white versus black thing that the media loves to do because that's what's hot for ratings,
Mhm.
especially in sports. So, Angel Reese, star player for LSU, they played against Caitlin Clark and Iowa in the Elite Eight of the women's national tournament.
Mhm.
Caitlin Clark did her thing. She dropped 41 points, 12
Yeah.
assists. She was killing. And Iowa beat LSU to avenge the loss that they had last year in the national championship game. At the end of the game, Angel Reese had a little press conference, and she talked
Mhm.
about how how much hate that she's gotten on social media and things of that nature because she is a braggadocious black female player. I
Yes.
also found out something that made complete sense. She's listed from Baltimore, but
Mhm.
do you know where she actually is really from?
Where?
Randallstown. Do
Okay.
you know about Randallstown?
I mean, I know of it.
So Randallstown, for those people who are not familiar in this DC area, there's a lot of black wealth in the DC area, right? Because we had BET for a long time,
Mhm.
government jobs. There's black, contract work. There's a lot of black wealth. Some of these neighborhoods are black wealth neighborhoods. One of them is Bowie, Maryland. Another one is Randallstown. Randallstown is the affluent black neighborhood outside of Baltimore City.
Yeah.
So she's a little Baltimore City,
Mhm.
but with a little bit of that come up. And that's basically where that flair comes from. But she's been getting a lot of backlash, and she opened her heart to talk about how tough the last year was from the last national championship game where she got real national attention, how much hate that she's got, how many racist comments that she's gotten on social media. And not only
Death
that,
threats.
death threats. And not only that, newspapers, legitimate newspapers are basically writing racist news columns.
Yeah.
So you wanted to specifically talk about that. So I'm going to go ahead and let you address that and your J way.
Well, I'll tell you, just 3 hours ago,
Mm,
CNN
okay.
posted a story, and the
Mm-hmm.
headline is Angel Reese is leaving LSU because she recently announced that she's declaring for the WNBA draft.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to her and best of luck. I don't think she needs it, but okay.
Yeah, she gonna be all right.
But Angel Reese is leaving LSU. Will her rivalry with Caitlin Clark continue in the WNBA? First of
Yeah.
all, these two young ladies do not have one.
Well, okay. So they
They
do and
don't
they
have
don't
in the way
in
that
the way.
they are. So in the way that they're saying it, how do you know they won't get drafted into the same team?
Well, Caitlin Clark's going to be the number one pick, and so I don't. Angel Reese is not going to be a number one pick,
My
but they
point
could.
is,
Yeah, they could. Yeah.
they're taking the rivalry out of the arena of what they do, i.e., basketball. They're taking it off the court. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, will it continue on into this new space? Yeah, they're moving on to a new court, but this is different. This is a professional league. It's different, right? But you don't know where we don't know where they're going to end up.
Well, there's some history in this. So the history in this, and it's how the NBA was actually built, because the NBA was a fledgling league that was almost about to go bankrupt until two players entered in the NBA, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. And they
Hmm.
also played in the national championship game, one of the highest rated national championship games of all time. Because Larry Bird, the Hick from French Lick, that was his nickname, y'all. That's not a nickname that gave him. And the Magic Man from Michigan State played each other, right? And then they got
Hmm.
drafted to the Lakers and the Celtics, and they were rivals, right? They played each other in 3 NBA finals. Magic won 2 of them. Larry won 1 of them, but they dominated the NBA in the 80s. And that brought
Yes.
ratings and all this other type of stuff. So, in one sense, I can see what they're trying to do, by putting them against one another, saying that they
Yeah.
are rivals, hoping that they take the ratings boom, because there was, I think they said 12.3 million households watched that game between
Yes.
Iowa and LSU this past weekend. That was
Yeah.
more than all of one NBA Finals game. It was more than like the ACC, SEC, college football championship games. Like, everybody was watching this game. So if they could
Mhm.
translate that to the WNBA, that would bring a lot new eyeballs to the WNBA,
Yeah.
who's trying to negotiate a new media rights deal.
And I can
However,
understand if the story was on ESPN, but it was on
on
CNN.
CNN, yes, yes, yeah, you're right.
You
You're
know what I
right.
mean?
You're right.
There's still, even though this young lady got up there, and I'm not the biggest Emmanuel Acho fan.
I don't know who that
Okay.
is.
Is a former football player. He has those uncomfortable conversations, whatever videos on YouTube. But his take on this, if I see him on the street, we're gonna have words.
Okay.
He said, in sports, you can't act like the big bad wolf and then cry like Courage the Cowardly Dog in response to her press conference,
Hmm.
where she did tear up. A lot, her teammates defended her. That made her cry. Her telling her story, she teared up. First of all, don't ever call that a young woman like that a dog. That's number one. That's you already. And then her quote unquote acting like the big bad wolf. What she said was, I'll take the villain role. I'll take the hit for that, but I know we're growing women's basketball. She didn't make herself the villain. The media did that. They
Hmm.
decided Caitlyn was the darling and she was the villain. Now, there's sexism in that for sure, but it's also a very racist picture.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
She's the white girl from middle America,
Right.
right?
And
And
then you got Angel.
never mind the fact that Caitlin Clark got a lot of trash talking
Yeah.
and bravado and theatrics in
All
her
of it.
game,
All of
right?
it. All of it.
Ain't they're the same player. But yet, then again, going back to that argument that I made earlier, Magic Johnson and Larry Bird were the same players, the same people. They were both Midwestern boys that played the basketball game the same way. The
Mhm.
media, that's the reason why I was talking about the bigger conversation. The media painted this white black thing. Caitlin
Yes.
Clark and Angel Reese have both said, yo, I mean, yeah, we are competitors in the court. I want to beat her, but we're not, I don't like hate her or nothing like that. I like,
Yeah.
she dope. She's dope. She got game.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like, what are you doing here? Yeah, I want to beat her. We're rivals on the basketball court. We're not
Yes.
rivals in life. And you saw there was a line while watching this LSU Iowa game where white people were rooting for Iowa and
Hmm.
black people were rooting for LSU. Now, black people were rooting for LSU and holding our nose at the same time because we don't like Kim Mulkey, the head coach of LSU. That's a whole separate
That's a whole
conversation.
other conversation. Yes.
I was like, I want LSU to win, but I want Caitlin Clark to ball out because this young woman has so much pressure put on her. All she want to do is ball and play
Hmm.
games, right?
Yeah.
But she's got all this media attention, all this pressure to hold up an entire race,
Yeah.
And I don't fault white America for looking at her and wanting to hold her up. And this is the reason why. When somebody comes into a sport and they're in a minority of that sport, meaning that there aren't a lot of white basketball players that are dominant. On the
Hmm.
female side, on the women's side, there's a lot more than, let's say, the men's side. But
Hmm.
overall speaking, black people tend to dominate basketball. So when
Hmm.
there's a white person that is really good,
Yeah.
i.e., a Larry Bird, i.e., a Caitlin Clark,
They become
white
the
people
great white
will,
hope.
but where there's a common or there's a equal comparison to that?
What's that?
Black people and Tiger Woods. Because when Tiger Woods started dominating in golf, black people was out there buying, uh, what do you call them?
Golf
Um,
clubs?
Yes, I don't know why that slipped my mind right now, but
I don't either.
they was buying golf clubs. They wasn't even buying the right golf clubs. They was buying
No.
irons when they were supposed to be buying tees. They was buying putters when they were supposed to be buying wedges. Like they
Yeah.
was just out there playing golf. Didn't know the rules. They was just out there playing golf because Tiger Woods playing off. And you're proud of somebody
Yeah.
that looks like you, kind of, that looks like
Mhm.
you, that's in a sport where there's not a lot of you. So I don't fault them for that. My problem becomes when you try to say, see, I told you that we could do it and y'all are just holding us back. Well, no, that's not the case. Everybody has an equal chance.
Yeah.
Unlike American society in sports,
Yes.
if you're
If
good
you're
enough,
good, you're good.
you good, right?
Yeah. Yes.
This isn't applying for a banking job or applying to law school, right?
Right.
This sports is absolutely based on merit.
Yeah.
So, but you brought up specifically this LSU UCLA article, and that's really what you
Mhm.
wanted to talk about. So, what was it specifically that you wanted to talk about that?
The language of it,
Mm-hmm.
calling LSU dirty debutantes,
Yeah.
right?
So,
And it was just a lot of sexist language, a lot of racially divisive language, and he invoked a lot of that imagery of like the great white hope versus these girls we could put up on a pedestal, and then here comes LSU. They're ruining basketball with
so
their antics.
the original column title was UCLA LSU is America's sweethearts versus its basketball villains. The
Hmm.
author Ben Bluch referred to LSU's women team as villains and used the term dirty debutantes to describe them. He described it as a clash between good versus evil. And yes, the criticisms and descriptions are classic stereotypes and sexism.
Hmm.
Kim Mullarkey, and ladies and gentlemen, I am not a fan of her, but I applauded her because of her response to the article. She, of course, condemned the article, calling it racist and sexist. She expressed her outrage at derogatory terms used to describe her players. She emphasized that attacking young athletes in such a manner was unacceptable and hurtful. She defended her team's playing style and trash talking, asserting that they were proud of who they were. And guess what? There's a lot of trash talking. The Boston Celtics, Larry Bird would be the first one. If you look at any Larry Bird interview,
Hmm.
he was a trash talking son of a gun. That's what sports is. You out
That's
there
what it
trash
is.
talking. That's what it is. So this idea that women can't do it, that's where the sexism comes into play.
Yes. What is acceptable behavior for a woman? What's acceptable behavior for a woman athlete? And trash talking, it's really not even about the trash talking, it's about the confidence.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want you being so overtly confident in
Mm-hmm.
yourself and in your ability and in your capability. We don't want that. And we definitely don't want that out of a Black woman.
Mm. Yeah.
Because what on earth could you possibly be so confident about? You are at the bottom. You are on the margins of the margins.
God, I mean, for real, you almost got me to cuss on here. For real, that's how bad it is.
That's how bad it is.
Mm. The
Okay.
margins are the margins.
You're on the margins of the margins. You know the little margins of your little notebook paper?
Yeah.
Go past that. See how
You can't
you're
go
not
past
even
it.
on the paper no more?
No, no, you're not on
That's
paper.
how far we're not even in the book.
Are y'all on the desk?
We're on the desk.
Barely.
We're clinging on to the side. And we ain't
Don't
letting go.
don't let you brush off the little excess eraser stuff. Remember when you was erasing with a pencil, you had to brush it off the table.
Yep.
You brush that off. Y'all
Getting our
might be
eye and everything. We still hanging on.
it's still
We're
hanging
hanging
on.
on.
Okay.
Yeah. So they
Yeah.
don't want to see that. And then that's
Hmm.
when you get commentary like Emmanuel Acho, right? Because who also doesn't want to see Black women confident? A lot of Black men don't.
Oh wow. Mm. You gonna hit him with that?
Listen, I'm having a bad day today, so I already told you that it's going to be violent.
Yeah, you
I
choosing
already
violence, but
told you
go
it's
ahead,
going to be
go ahead,
violent.
talk your
But it's
ish.
but
Go
it's
ahead.
also the truth.
Yeah,
It's
you
also the
ain't
truth.
lying.
A video resurfaced recently of an actress. Her name is Julie Delpy. She's a French actress. And she was doing some press for a movie.
Mm.
And I guess they were, talking about how difficult it is in Hollywood. And she said, quote, "It's
I knew
funny."
I knew you was gonna bring this up too, and you
Yes,
sent
because
it
it
to me.
ties
Yeah,
in perfectly.
Hey, but I said I don't know if we should go this deep, but
I'm
I
not
knew you was
going
gonna
I'm
I
not
knew
gonna
you was
go
gonna
to.
do
I'm not.
this.
I have a whole thing on this, but I'm not gonna do this. But it
Okay,
ties into what I'm talking about. So
okay.
she said, "It's funny. Women can't talk. I sometimes wish I were African American because at least people don't bash them afterwards when they say something about a reality, which is we live in a xenophobic environment." Homegirl completely erased the existence of a Black woman
Hmm.
because who
Yeah.
she was talking about was, I wish I were an African American male.
Hmm.
That's what she meant.
And no, you don't. No, you don't.
And also, no, you don't. And we don't
Yeah.
get bashed. Okay, girl. You asked Taraji when she was complaining about the little bit of pay she gets
Oh,
if she got bashed.
ask the great writer Jamel Hill when she was on ESPN and she called the former president a white supremacist, which he is, by the way. I don't really know how
Yeah,
you can
it's
argue
not.
these type of
I
things
mean, you
because
can. That's just
he is,
obvious.
and
That's
she
just true.
basically it was a mutual parting of ways, but
Mhm.
is because of the backlash of her saying something like that. When he's exhibited, at the very least, he's exhibited characteristics of somebody you might call a white supremacist.
It's Klux Klan-ish.
At the very least, that's
At
what
the
he is exhibited.
very, it gives off
So
the aroma.
the idea that this woman would say that is another example of the absolute blindness
Mhm.
that some people have when it comes to race and the experience of others. And this is when
Yeah.
I go on my soapbox and I say to people, if somebody is explaining to you their life experience,
Mhm.
shut the hell up
Yeah.
and listen.
Yeah.
You might learn something.
And I gotta tell you, you want to listen to the people who live the most in reality.
Well, these people don't think that they don't live in reality. She thinks she lives and she does live in a reality that is absolutely oppressive to her.
Yes.
That is a thing. But the idea that her oppression is the worst is so
Right.
self absorbed and self centered
Yes.
that I can't take you seriously when that's the basis of your argument.
Because it completely separates my blackness from my gender,
Mm.
from my sex, right? But I
Hmm.
can't separate those two. I'm Black and a woman at the same time. It's happening simultaneously,
What
right?
Jeezy say? What Jeezy say? At the same damn time. What's that
Both
Jeezy
of them
song?
is happening at the same
Same
damn
damn
time.
time. Right.
I mean, that's truly what's happening. So I'm gonna bring it back around town.
Okay.
If you have society has this blind spot to Black women,
Hmm.
and then you get a Black woman who is forcing you to look at her
Hmm.
and who acts in a way that you don't want her to act,
That's the
which
key
is
right there.
small, which
That's
is
the key right
small.
there. Hmm.
You want her to act small, be humble, be thankful for the opportunity, sir.
Oh
When
God.
she when she's not
Okay. All
when
right.
they're not doing that,
All right. Come
now
on
I
now.
said I said violence,
Yeah, you
and
choosing
I
it.
meant it.
Go ahead.
When
Go
you
ahead.
have a young lady like Angel Reese, who's or any of the young women on LSU's team whose talent cannot be denied, and who are in your face and who are proud of the game that they play, who are proud of themselves, who have pride in themselves, who have confidence to a braggadocious level, when they're making you, forcing you to look at how beautiful and spectacular they are, and you can't stand it, then you say, who can we prop up as a foil to this black? Well, let's find. Here we go
Well,
with
they didn't
our
find
white.
her. She jumped off the
She,
screen. And let's be clear. This is not Caitlin Clark doing this.
no, it's not Caitlin's fault. It's not
No.
Angel's fault. They are
It's
literally just honestly, they're victims of a jacked up system.
yes. Yes, they are. That's a really good choice of words. Victims of a jacked up system, because everybody, look, there might have been black people rooting for LSU and against Caitlin Clark, and it had to do not because of Caitlin Clark the person, but the media portrayal and how they are putting these two women against each other. And this goes back to what I tell people all the time: pay attention to what media is doing.
Yes.
Pay attention to what media is doing. They got you looking in one hand when the other hand is in your pocket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Get your hands out my pocket. If
Get your
y'all don't
hands out of my
understand,
pocket.
if y'all please watch Malcolm X and you will get that. But we're not saying Caitlin Clark isn't bad, because in my opinion, and I can't say that I've watched a lot of women's college basketball.
Fantastic player.
In my opinion, from the women that I've seen that's the top level,
Mm-hmm.
if she ain't the best female woman college player
Mm-hmm.
in the game right now, she's second. She right there. She deserves everything, all the accolades and all of the attention. She
Yes.
deserves it. We just,
Absolutely.
the
But it's
media
not
has
a
to be
zero-sum game
right.
of
This is true.
she gets her just due and her accolades and her flowers because she does deserve them. But that does not mean that you get to do that at the expense of Angel Reese.
And this is where the sexism comes into play, because I made the comparison between Bird and Magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
the comparison is great white basketball player, great white basketball player, great black basketball player versus a great black basketball player. The white
Mm-hmm.
and the black versus each other, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the media loved Larry Bird, and the media loved Magic Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
The media loves Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
The media hates Angel Reese.
And
And
what's
the
the difference?
reason why they hate is because she's a braggadocious woman that's confident as hell, that says, this is who I am,
Mm-hmm.
like it or not. And the
But
media,
that's not all, though, because Caitlyn does the same thing and she's not vilified for it. It's that extra layer
oh, no, no,
of
no. There's
Black
racism
woman.
there. Yeah, there's
Yes.
racism, but I was just talking about the two comparisons as I compared it earlier to Magic
Yes.
Bird, right?
Yeah.
The difference is that the media loved Magic because he's a black man.
Yeah.
The media hates Angel because she's a black woman.
Yes.
So there's that line for people that can't understand it. For people that are like, no, that's not true. I just gave you clear examples of
Yeah.
exactly what's going on here. If you don't want to see it, that means you just want to be ignorant, and I can't help you.
Well, I can tell you as a Black woman living in America, they want you to be small and quiet. And
Mm.
when you're not that, like I'll tell you, just working in the world and being
Right.
Black and trying to be a Black woman and trying to give direct.
Are you trying to be a black woman?
I mean, you trying, while still also trying to be a professional. You
Right,
don't
right,
want to
right.
lose. You don't want because I'm saying what I mean is like you don't want to lose that part of yourself.
Right, exactly.
You
Hmm.
know what's it
I don't know what it is
when
because we
you
both blanking today.
code switching.
Okay, code switching. Yeah.
You don't want to lose that part of yourself. So yes, in a sense, you are still trying to be a Black woman, but you're always cognizant of how you come across because they love to label you as angry
Hmm.
when really you're just being direct.
Mm-hmm.
They love to label you as the villain when all I did was establish a boundary.
Mm-hmm.
So she's unfortunately learning this lesson of how society treats Black women, and she's unfortunately learning it on a national stage. But none of these two young ladies, they didn't do anything wrong.
Mm-mm.
They're out there, you know,
Hooping.
hooping, giving y'all what
They
y'all want, what you
right.
want to
They
see.
ballin'.
Balling.
Ballin'. Right. They both, because Angel started out that game before she got that ankle injury. She was killing.
Mm-hmm.
Killing. I mean, completely being dominant. It was
Yeah.
it was a fun game to watch.
Yeah.
And here's another thing about sexism. Here's a prime example of sexism. I was talking to our father about the men's and the women's tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And Pops was like, yeah, I'm getting the women's game is way more entertaining than the men's game. I'm watching the women's game. I'm not really watching the men's game that much.
Mm-hmm.
They got Juju Watkins, and they got Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, and the name of the young woman is skipping me right now, but she's tremendous. The young woman for UConn.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, yeah, that's what I'm watching. And I want to text my boys because I didn't watch hardly any of the men's tournament. I watched a little bit of it, but I've been watching the women's tournament. And the Final Four is this weekend. Tomorrow night, I'll be watching the women play. Saturday night, I'll be watching WrestleMania. Sunday night, I'll be watching night 2 of WrestleMania and the second half of the Final Four or the national championship game for the women.
Are you
Monday
talking about
night,
Paige Bugers?
yes, I couldn't pronounce that last name. All right.
Yeah.
And on
I don't
Monday
know if
night,
that's correct either.
right, but she bad.
Yeah.
She bad, right?
Yeah.
She might be the best player in women's college basketball. And on Monday night, when the men are playing the national championship game, mind you,
Mm-hmm.
that I watched the women play on Friday night and the
Yeah.
women on Sunday on my two screens. One is WrestleMania and one is the women's national championship. Okay.
You got to multitask. Sure.
So the men will play Monday night, and so will Monday Night Raw be on. Do you think
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have them on both screens? No, I don't care about that men's national championship game. I'm watching Monday Night Raw. So that tells you how much I'm invested in the women's game. I
Yeah.
just want to text my boys and be like, yo, y'all watching this? And I already know the answer. No, we don't watch the women play basketball. All right, then. Okay, I really don't want to have no conversation with you. I'll talk to my dad because my dad is more evolved than y'all are. That's cool. That's
Yeah.
cool. That's what it is. That's sexism, right? And Jessica Smetana, former writer for Sports Illustrated,
Mm-hmm.
currently works on the Dan Lebertard show, has multiple podcasts. Look her up. She's brilliant. I'm a big fan of her. I'm paraphrasing what she said. She said, it's fantastic that the women's game is getting so much attention after not getting the proper representation for decades. She also said the lazy commentating that's been a staple in men's sports is now being put in women's sports. And that's where you get your boy. What's his name again? India Irie Johnson. I don't know. What's the boy that you said? What's the man's name that you said if you see him on the street is violence?
Emmanuel Acho.
Yeah, Emmanuel Acho. Well, I was close.
No.
That's not Emmanuel Acho. That's a lazy. That's a lazy argument. That's something that he would say about men's sports. But here's the thing: he's not watching women's sports like he's watching men's sports.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have the right context to even make a commentary like that because he's not watching women's sports like he's watching men's sports. And so Jessica Smetana was saying that, yeah, you're getting this lazy commentary from men that typically comment on men's sports, now comment
Mm-hmm.
on women's sports, and they just jumped into the game this past weekend.
Yeah.
And it's lazy. And she was like, it's kind of great for equality, but it also has that tinge of sexism, like what's happening to Angel Reese. So we need more important female voices to rise up above, because Jason Taylor's sister, and she has a full name, and it is escaping me right now.
Okay.
She hosts a show on Fox Sports. God, beautiful woman. I got a crush on her. But that's not what's
Are
important
we
right now. What she
talking
said was,
about Joy Taylor?
thank you, Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor made a point because the guys on the show were going back and forth talking about Angel Reese. And she said exactly what you said. Wait a minute. We wouldn't even be having this conversation if the man does it. It's praised. Tom Brady is praised when he does this. Kobe Bryant is praised when he does this. Why is all of a sudden this female that's doing the exact same thing that men do, why is she a villain?
Mm-hmm.
How did she become a villain? What's the difference here? The
Right.
difference is one's a male, one's a female. So all my men out there that are listening, if you want to grow as a person, hear a little bit of what we're saying. Just a little bit.
Yeah.
You want to put any final touches on this before we go to the next segment and laugh a little bit? Because we got to laugh a little bit.
I've been laughing. Been laughing about how
You,
ridiculous these people are. And
you,
but I'll say this. We are, for people who are doing anti-racist work, please do not forget that intersectionality matters. There are people who live at the nexus of more than one categorization of otherness. Okay. And so race, sex, homophobia, Islamophobia, all of these things are happening to them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
They cannot separate. I can't separate my experience as a Black person from my experience as a woman because I experience the world as a Black woman. There is no separating these identities, and one is not more important than the other. They're both affecting at the same time. And if you don't understand the importance of intersectionality, then you are not really doing the anti-racist or anti-oppression work. You're really not doing it because you're leaving out the voices of people who can tell you the real. That's all I gotta say about that.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my sister got something to say. Go ahead and say what you want to say.
I'm just saying,
right.
When you tee up a segment, like, oh, we're gonna be funny next, y'all. If what follows is not that, then it's pressure. And I'll give you a prime example, a perfect example. In the movie The Five Heartbeats.
Yeah.
You remember when Flash paid the MC he slid him a little money for when he introduced the Five Heartbeats to say something, to get the crowd against them. And he went out there and he said, they think they're better than the Jackson 5 and all of that, all put together. The Five Heartbeats. And the crowd, of course, is booing them because you done teed up something and it ain't gonna deliver that.
Hold on. That is completely not the same thing. Okay. That was purposeful. That MC was purposely trying to put them down.
Right.
And I didn't say that we're going to be funny. I said we're going to get into something funny. I didn't say that we're going to be funny. We're going to get into something funny. That's completely different than saying that we're going to be funny.
Different.
It is completely different.
You're still teeing up this segment to be funny. And then if it's not funny, do you get what I'm saying?
But no, I get what you're saying, but this subject is funny.
No, this is funny, but
okay,
what if it wasn't?
But I don't normally say that when it's not something that's funny. If we don't create the humor out of it, that doesn't mean that the subject matter still isn't funny. That's all I'm saying. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all tell us if this is funny. All right.
I think it's funny.
I think it's funny too. The
But that's
title of
not
the
the
segment
point.
that I have on the rundown is something funny and not. Okay.
Because it's not so much funny, haha, but funny, oh, damn it, look at the state of this country.
But also funny, haha. All right, let's get to it. And y'all tell us if it's funny to y'all or not. There's going to be some people out there that's going to be like, no, I don't see anything wrong with it. And you would be losers. Anyway, so
Yes,
something,
yeah.
a proposal has been put forth by a group of House Republicans
You can
to
probably name
rename,
them.
no, they can't name them. Most people can't name them. So the proposal has been put forth by a group of House Republicans to rename Washington Dulles International Airport. It's a major airport here in the DMV area. We got 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dulles, what many people in the area call DCA or National. We don't call it by that other name, or BWI. So they're talking about Dulles, which is in Northern Virginia. To change the name from Washington Dulles International Airport to Donald J. Trump International Airport. That's right. The bill filed by Representative.
Hell no.
The bill filed by Rep. Guy Rosenthaler. He's a Republican from out of Pennsylvania, y'all.
Yes,
He's also the chief deputy majority whip. He aims to designate the airport as a Donald J. Trump International Airport. 6 other Republicans co-sponsored the bill. He expressed his support for renaming Dulles in honor of President Trump, citing freedom, prosperity, and strength as defining qualities of Trump's leadership. So some House Democrats obviously criticized the move, considered it ridiculous, and suggested that Congress should, focus on, things that are kind of important, like reauthorizing the Federal Aviation Administration and passing foreign aid bills. Or how about this? Not running up against the clock to pass the budget so that the government won't shut down. Important stuff like this.
Like,
but
do your job.
But my man, Representative Jerry Connolly out of my state, Virginia, his response was Donald Trump is facing 91 felony charges. He also represents the district right there that's in Dulles. He suggested if Republicans want to name something after them, after Donald J. Trump, he suggested a federal prison.
First of all, I love that you said Donald J. Trump.
I didn't mean to say it, but
is that the new thing?
That could be. Now, I would vote for that bill if that was a new name.
Donald J. Trump International Airport. We only fly out Spirit and only the 3 cities.
Time out, because I'm flying down to
Atlanta. You can get to Detroit. You can get to Omaha.
No, why Omaha though?
And you can get to Phoenix. Those are 3 cities that we service now.
It's an international flight.
Nope,
it's supposed to be an international airport.
No, all the airlines said we're not doing it.
So it's the Donald J. Trump National Airport now. They lose the international.
It's a domestic airport.
They do have one flight. They got one flight.
It's a local airport.
Russia. They'll fly to Russia.
They'll fly you to Russia.
Because
you can go to Russia. You can go to Pyongyang. You can go to North Korea. You can go wherever the hell.
Wherever the hell there's fascism.
Right.
Or authoritative governments, you can go there.
That's their damn tagline for that airport. If fascism's there, we'll take you. Wherever fascism is, we're there. Yeah, Pyongyang. I knew I had that right. I had to make sure I wasn't just saying something.
We go to where fascism lives.
Right.
If you want to oppress some people, we'll take you there.
Oppress these prices.
And by the way, we selling Bibles. That's another thing.
Yes.
This wasn't on the rundown. This is absolutely hilarious. Trump is selling Bibles. Okay. He's selling the King James, but
Listen,
he calls it the American King James Bible, which
that's
okay,
not
all
a
right.
thing. That's not a
But
thing.
he's selling it for
King
60
James
bones.
is literally king of a whole ass other country. It's not,
But
you can't be king, American King James.
but he's selling it for 60 bones. If you go on Amazon right now, you can get you a King James Bible for about $35.
Yeah.
So he's upcharging almost 50%. No,
Mm-hmm.
100%. He's upcharging almost 100% to sell these Bibles. Because we know he's a good Christian man, been married a couple
He's
times, had a
not.
couple of different affairs, and he's
Yeah.
specifically selling these Bibles to pay off a former porn star that I'm not mad at. You know, porn stars, go get
And
your money.
it's like,
But it was a hush money. The hush money
yes,
case. That's what he's
that's what
using
he's
Bible
doing.
money.
He's selling Bibles.
Yo, I'm sorry.
Yo, this is
funny.
blasphemous as hell, y'all. Like, listen, to pay off a settlement to a porn star,
And I'm not knocking the porn star.
you can't write this. Like, this
Mm-mm.
can only be real life because it's that ridiculous.
Yes.
The airport after him, ridiculous. All of this, first of all, I don't even fly into Dulles now, but I definitely wouldn't if it was changed to the Donald J. Trump International Airport.
No.
Go to hell.
Internet. Yeah.
Go to double hell with
Jared Conley,
gasoline
shout out to
draws
you.
on.
Jared Conley, shout out to you, because I like that. If you're going to name something after him, name a federal prison after him. Because, I mean, he
Yeah.
got 91 felony charges. People seem to be forgetting that. These
No.
aren't trumped up. These aren't trumped up charges.
Mm-mm.
They charge us for Trump, but they not trumped
Yeah.
up.
No.
They for real. These are legitimate. This man is a criminal. Has been a criminal since before he was president. This is a
Yeah.
crazy thing to me. How you gonna be a criminal? Say you're gonna run for president, but you've
Yeah.
been getting away with your crimes for all the time, right?
Right.
For a whole lifetime. You've been
You
getting away with it.
think,
But just because a black man make fun of you at a dinner, you
Yeah.
gonna decide to run for president and
And
screw
put
up your entire life.
all of it at risk. I almost cussed.
Yeah,
The
I know you
SH
did.
came out.
Well, you
But
can
you
say shit.
put all of that at risk. All your schemes and crimes. You put, as soon as you knew that a presidential candidate had to release their tax returns, you should have dropped out.
Look, and if you know you're a criminal and you know this gonna bring more attention to yourself,
Yeah.
why not be a little bit more opening to everybody so everybody loves you, so that you're not polarizing and people ain't gonna come after you? Because
Yeah.
guess what? You're done pissing people off, and these people got money too, and so they're coming after you for all the crimes that they would have just been like, whatever. But
Right.
not now. Now
Not
they're
now.
like, look, we got to get you.
Yeah.
And your dumbass is out here selling Bibles
Bibles.
for
I
60
want to
bones.
know how many of them sneakers he sold.
They were sold out. Nobody's gotten any yet, but they were sold out. They was almost like the Baller brand with LeVar Ball and them selling shoes that people had to wait a year to get. They were selling out. People buying it. He got a fan. Look, half of the country voted for him, and half of the country's going to vote for him again.
Yeah, because somehow he paid that damn bond.
Well, because they lowered it to 175,000 from the 460 something that it was.
175 million.
Million.
He still had to get that together.
And he went to somebody that got some shady business practices. So I mean, yeah, okay.
Let me guess. Their last name ends in ski.
No, I don't know. He's here, but supposedly, Truth Social's stock. So, here's another funny thing. Here's another funny thing, and then we're gonna let y'all go. I swear. So Trump, the stock price for Truth Social plummeted.
Yeah, I can't believe it's publicly traded.
So he's suing two people that came to him to start Truth Social, saying that, I don't remember what the lawsuit was, but he's suing them and they're suing him saying that we ain't get all the money that we supposed to be getting.
Of
So
course you
everybody's
didn't.
suing it. Everybody's suing everybody.
Yeah.
And supposedly Truth Social. This is a rumor. I'm not saying this is fact. It's something I read as an offshoot as I was reading news today, that supposedly a relative of Putin has invested heavily into Truth Social. This was reported on MSNBC News. That's all I know. That there is a news organization that did report that there are connections to Putin relatives and Truth Social. But y'all take that for what y'all want. But I can tell you what damn show not going to do. And this has no chance of actually passing, right? It had the Donald J. Trump International Airport is not going to happen. It has to
No.
pass through the House. It has to pass through the Senate. And then the president has to sign for it. It's not going to happen. But it's funny as hell that they brought a legitimate bill for this to be.
Did
I
he
just thought
get a
that.
library?
I mean, all presidents get a library. You get a presidential library.
Where is it?
It's probably down there by Mar-a-Lago.
It probably is.
He hasn't finished it yet. He's getting one. I mean, Obama's took like 4 or 5 years before it was finished. It's going to take a little while. And he probably hasn't even started working on it because he thinks he's going to win. And he might.
Oh, plans to build a library and museum are yet to be announced.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably trying to get somebody to pay for it.
Nobody gonna play it.
No, people gonna pay for it. Somebody gave him that 175 million bond. Somebody's like, "Nah, I got you. Don't worry about it." Somebody put some money on his books. All right. Jay, what you want to tell the people out here?
Oh man, same as I do every week. Thanks for listening to us. We appreciate it.
Okay. On that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until next time, as always, I'll holla. Whew, that was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspective.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you're really feeling genuine and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciated. Most importantly, I want to say thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.